I asked the butcher for Stephen Wrighton called long beef ribs, and they didn't know what I was talking about. And one guy says, well, we have uncut short ribs. And so I said, well, let me take a look at that. So I went back to the refrigerator case and brought out these uncut beef short ribs, and that's exactly what I was looking for. There's 4 ribs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and as you can see, these aren't like your regular those beef finger ribs, which don't have all of this extra meat. They usually, they cut it right here, and then you just get this little bit of meat in between each rib. But I wanted, the big beefy ones, and this is a perfect size. And now normally I would remove this membrane from the back, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to use this, don't want to get that dirty, so grab a napkin. I'm going to use this bacon hanger, and I'm going to poke that down into there to hold that up, and then I can hang that on my hanger out on the barbecue pit, because I'm going to be cooking this over a live fire, and I want that membrane to hold it together, because I'm afraid that if I take that membrane off and I hang that, this meat will get over the cooking time, it gets like fall off the bone tender, and I literally don't want this to fall off the bone off of the bacon hanger. So that shouldn't be a major problem. I mean, normally you remove that membrane to allow some of the spice to get in and some of the smoke to get in from this end, but I'm not really going to be concerned about that. So what I'm going to do now, and wash my hands real quick. I'm going to use the spice, the Tango Spice Midnight Espresso that I got from Joe off of from tangospice.com, and I've used this a few weeks ago on some beef ribs that I smoked on the pit, and it was really good. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm just going to add a little bit of sea salt. Now traditionally this is made with just a coarse salt and fresh ground black pepper, but I really like the Midnight Espresso with the beef ribs, so I'm going to add this and just liberally add that to it. Just coat it really well. You could add this to the membrane side, but I'm not gonna. To me, it's a waste of spice. Okay, let's get this rack on the bacon hanger. So I figure what I'd do is, underneath that first rib there, just poke it right in, just like you would slab of bacon. All the way through. Yeah. See, that'll hold because I hung it underneath this first bone, and with that membrane should be able to hold it in place just fine. Well, getting ready to put the ribs on. Got a fire going. I started with some hardwood lump charcoal, and then I added a couple of chunks of pecan wood. They're burned down a little bit. I'll add another one and just keep adding some more as I need. And I've added a drip tray because I want to catch the fat. I don't want the fat to drip down and run into the coals and start a huge fire. So here, let's go ahead and hang this. It's going to be hot, so just hang that. And we can scooch it over. close to the fire. Make sure our drip pan is under it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ouch! So that's plenty of temperature right there. Let's just let that go for a little bit. I'm not really sure about the cooking time. Kind of just gonna have to tell how the ribs look. Because you want that meat to pull back away from the bone there. About an inch, half inch to an inch, and then you can always test it with an instant read thermometer. Go ahead and throw another chunk of pecan on there. Off to the side there, get some extra smoke going. And come back and check on periodically, and then after, I don't know, maybe about 30 minutes, I'll flip it and expose the bone side, and just keep rotating it like that. Looks pretty good so far. It's coming along nicely. I think what I'm going to do is take some of these pan drippings. They look really good. Just kind of baste this a little bit. Really good. Keep that moist. Now, the bottom part's going to be moister because it's got the fat dripping down, but the top doesn't have that advantage. So, baste that a little bit. These drippings. There we go. Get a close up here. You can tell these ribs are really done because the meat is shrinking back from the bone quite a bit. I've been basting it periodically with some of the drippings, the fat, just kind of keep it moist. But it all smells good. It's holding up there well with the bacon rack, thanks to that, leaving that membrane on. I'm afraid that would have just fell off the rack. Okay, time to flip the burgers. Okay, here's the finished beef ribs. Turned out really well. Cut one of the ribs here. Now this was the bottom hanging rib, which was appeared to be more done than the rest of them. Looks good. Take cut a little sliver here. It's nice and tender. And it tastes wonderful. That Tango Spice Midnight Espresso is just so good with ribs. Beef ribs anyway. If you notice this piece up here, this is more of a medium, because these were such thick ribs. I was afraid to let it go too much longer because I was afraid I was going to end up burning them. But it tastes good. Even the medium portions were really tender, because this was it's a good cut of meat. It was really well marbled. It's almost like a steak, but it turned out really good. I definitely will be doing this again now that I know what particular cut of ribs to ask for from the butcher. And there you have it. Primal ribs.